As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point. Natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. Most science fiction of the day predicted a future that was more civilized and more intelligent. But as time went on, things seemed to be heading in the opposite direction, a dumbing down.
A recent study suggests that our species has been getting dumber.
Actually, no, Chuck. I can tell you that the case is more than that, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence now. So, again, I think...
So you have seen direct evidence of collusion?
I don't want to go into specifics, but I will say that there is evidence that is not circumstantial and is very much worthy of investigation. So that is what we ought to do. Now, again, I think we have been dealt a serious body blow to the credibility of our ability to get answers.
We will be putting together a report that will set out for the country what evidence we have seen to date. What evidence we have seen in terms of the Russian hacking and dumping operation, what evidence we have seen in terms of the Russian social media campaign, their paid media campaign, and yes, the issue of collusion with the Trump campaign. There is significant evidence, much of it in the public domain, on the issue of collusion.
The chairman of Harvard University's chemistry department arrested by FBI agents, charged with lying about more than $1 million in payments from the Chinese government. A Boston University researcher accused of being a secret operative of the Chinese military. Another Harvard researcher caught at the airport allegedly trying to smuggle biological materials to China. All three incidents were this week, and they're not alone. U.S. intelligence officials say America's world-class university system has become a soft target in the global espionage war with China.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They can't even figure out how to deal with the fact that they have this great division between the China Sea and the mountains in the west. They can't figure out how they're going to deal with the corruption that exists within the system.
This video shows Chinese diplomats greeting Vice President Biden as he arrived in Beijing in December of 2013.
They can't figure out how they're going to deal with the corruption that exists within the system.
Right by his side, his son Hunter.
They can't figure out how they're going to deal with the corruption that exists within the system.
Less than 2 weeks later, Hunter's firm had new business, creating an investment fund in China involving the government-controlled Bank of China.
They're not competition for us. They're not.
Joe Biden may not be getting any questions about Tara Reade's allegations against him, but somebody finally asked him about Hunter Biden again. This was a local reporter out of CBS Miami. Let's take a listen to that.
The administration has been critical of the way you, when you were vice president, were dealing with China. I guess I want to ask you, do you think that this is going to, in fact, be a major issue? And are you vulnerable on this issue at all because of your son's business dealings in China?
No, I don't believe so at all. My son's business dealings were not anything with everybody that he's talking about, not even remotely, number one. Nothing to do with me, number two.
What?
Nothing
First of all,
to do with him,
didn't understand
Sagar.
that. Okay, let's review. Hunter Biden went on Air Force Two to Beijing with Joe Biden. 13 days later, a company that he sits on the board of and holds a large equity stake in took $1 billion loan from the Chinese government. And he admits that he met his business partner on that trip in the same hotel that Joe Biden was in. Joe Biden was also introduced to the man, but he claims he didn't talk about business, and it was just a purely social meeting there.
At issue was Hunter Biden profiting off his dad's work as vice president, and did Joe Biden allow it? We're talking about millions of dollars in at least 2 countries.
Mr. Vice President, Tom Yamas with ABC News. How you doing? Got a quick question for you.
It's a question we tried to ask repeatedly.
Can we ask you about Ukraine and China?
But kept getting blocked. Questions about foreign deals his son Hunter Biden pursued.
My father, Joe Biden.
In countries where Joe Biden was working as America's top diplomat. One person who did not want to talk about it, Joe Biden.
Mr. Vice President, what's your take on that? Was there a conflict of interest there? Was there a clear conflict of interest?
All this investigation going on and this glaring, outrageous
connection here, this financial tie, and no one's interested in investigating.
The media is not interested in reporting on the ties that Hunter Biden has to China. I'm shocked. But what's interesting is John Kerry's son-in-law and Hunter Biden, these aren't investor whiz kids. I mean, you're in the heart of New York. They could come here, and if they're that good, they'd get billions of dollars in the United States of America. But instead, they go to China, where political influence matters, and buying off the American government matters. And they knew they can get to Joe Biden's heart through his son, Hunter Biden. This reeks to high heaven. And I'm just one who looks at this, and I think the media should report on it.
We have over 6 committees investigating Trump for various things, and nothing is happening with that. We have them stealing intellectual property from us at the tune of $600 billion a year. We have also prosecuted the largest group of former intelligence agents, U.S., for conveying trade secrets, national defense trade secrets, to China in the last year.
China is by far a bigger threat economically, militarily. They literally have a stated goal of toppling America as the world superpower. How on earth could Joe Biden, if he's president, with a straight face, negotiate with a government who's put billions of dollars into his family's businesses?
I don't want to go into specifics, but I will say that there is evidence that is not circumstantial.
Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Having kids is such an important decision.
We're just waiting for the right time. It's not something you want to rush into, obviously.
No way.
Oh, shit, I'm pregnant again!
Shit! I got too many damn kids. Thought you was on the pill or some shit.
Hell no!
Must have been thinking of Brittany.
Brittany? No, you can't! There's no way we could have a child now. Not with the market the way it is, no.
God, no. That just wouldn't make any sense.
Come on over here, bitch! He don't care about you.
Yeah, well, there must be something he likes over here.
You mean nothing to me, baby? Oh, shit. It wasn't me! It wasn't me!
Well, we finally decided to have children, and I'm not pointing fingers, but it's not going well.
And this is helping.
I'm just saying that before I have in vitro, maybe you should be willing to...
It's always me, right?
Well, it's not my sperm count.
Yeah! I'm gonna own you! That's my boy!
Cleavon is lucky to be alive. He attempted to jump a jet ski from a lake into a swimming pool and impaled his crotch on an iron gate. But thanks to recent advances in stem cell research and the fine work of Drs. Krinsky and Altshuler, Cleavon should regain full reproductive function.
Get your hands off my junk!
Unfortunately, Trevor passed away from a heart attack while masturbating to produce sperm for artificial insemination. But I have some eggs frozen, so just as soon as the right guy comes along, you know.
And so it went for generations, although few, if any, seemed to notice.
I don't want to go into specifics, but I will say that there is evidence that is not circumstantial.